Hello, my friend. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to a special edition of the Ever Better Talk Show with your host, Wanda J. Prowell, for issues of the heart for the young and wise. Today's show, my friend, is dedicated to our parents, children, and faculty. Yes, faculty, for safe school opening for the fall. For safe opening of fall school. Yes, we were not scheduled, my friend, to air on today's show because last week I did mention to you that on the Ever Better Talk show for teen families would showcase bi-weekly. But my friend, because of the concerns for the opening of school, school is my heart, for the opening of school, and all these wonderful boys and girls, young men and young ladies, I am compelled, I take it personally, I am compelled in my spirit to bring you words of encouragement for the survival of families. Listen, can you hear it? Can you hear the drums beating of the school band? And the people yelling in the background? It's football season. It's football season. It is mandatory, my friend, that all sports players, and you know this already, but it is mandatory that all sports players are cleared by their physicians and receive in writing a good health release medication form from their doctors before they even go to practice, before they're even selected as a team member. But I want you to know, my friends, parents, hear me carefully. I'm not bad mouthing, and I am a parent myself, grandparent now. But there are some physicians, they mean well because a lot of the participant, prospective team members, they may not have the adequate insurance, or they just may not can afford it to pay for the in-depth test that is required to properly diagnose their health conditions. So, there has been times when, sometimes physicians just may ask the parent, who's there with them, to just get a verbal confirmation of their medical history. And a lot of the strategic, expensive tests may not be performed. But I want you to know something, parents, friends, regardless of the process, once that student has received a clear bill of health, documented now from the physicians, then that player has been approved for all practicing and conditioning for the game. It is a fact. Out of the students who desire to participate in sports for scholarships and professional achievement, many of the young men, especially football and basketball, but especially football, they are asthmatic and they have respiratory and heart illness. But they vow to play anyway because everybody wants to be a star. Everyone wants to go pro. And everyone wants the collaboration of the fans when you put on that sports attire and you go out on the field. You love it. It feels good. But parents, please, ma'am, and please, sir, please honor the authority that you have to make sure that your young person is in good physical health. The COVID-19 pandemic, my friend, is a period now where you cannot afford to juggle your health. You cannot afford to do that. Parents, be completely honest with your child's health, because they will be obligated. They will be obligated to fulfill all instructions for practice and game day. Whatever practice and game day requires, again, no students should be on the field with respiratory and heart issues. Well, students must know that in the end, all students must know, and parents, we've got to do a better job in this, because some, and all my years of teaching them, some young students, they want to play for themselves, true enough, but many of them think in terms of, if I become pro, what can I do for my family? And I love that desire, but never to the point where your physical health is compromised, because we know that in the end, a solid, good education is going to outlast them all. Once you spend your time in committing to getting the best education with your grades and academic scholarships, regardless, you will always have that. But John 10:10 says, John 10:10, make a note. You can go back and read it later. John 10:10 says, that's St. John now, New Testament, says that the thief cometh not, but to steal, to kill, and destroy. And we're not talking about flesh and blood. We're not pointing the finger at any human. But the thief, the enemy, the spirit, the evil one, his job is to steal, kill, and destroy. But the Lord says, I come that they may have life, and you may have it more abundantly. And I believe the Lord wants us to have abundant life. We just got to get through this season now, but abundant life. And we want to survive to do that, to be able to do that. And being a parent, and parenting is not a happy-go-lucky experience. It requires backbone, my friend. Backbone, leadership, an overflowing heart of love, and the patience for the job. That's why the Ever Better Talk Show, my friend, focus today is Team Family for Team Parenting. Parenting is not about sex. You all know that, right? Parenting is not about sex. Although it created us, parenting is work, but it is also the most rewarding. I'm a testimony. Parenting is the most rewarding experience on planet Earth. Yes, to replenish the earth. And as a return, they are a gift to us throughout our lives. Let me introduce you, my friend, to my historical professional colleague, a man by the name of Abraham Maslow. You can look it up, Google it. And plus, I'll post it on my page too. Abraham Maslow, many years ago, a child psychologist, Abraham Maslow is one of the most influential American psychologists of the 20th century, who was best known for creating the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And this is a theory, my friend, my parents, of um, psychological health predicated on fulfilling the innate human needs in priority, culminating in self-actualization. Oh, that's a good word there. Self-actualization. Self-actualization. That's why we have got to be so dutiful in enduring this season, so that our children will get to experience the self-actualization stage of the hierarchy of need. Well, let's discuss that just a little bit. But I do want you to know that Abraham Maslow, his theory was the foundation for where I created and researched information for my book. Not just research it, I've taught it for years. Not just taught it, I have implemented this. It works. And that is school readiness for parents and children, K through 12. Abraham Maslow, he was the first. He believes that in the hierarchy of need, and once I post it, you'll be able to see this, but his hierarchy of need is in a pyramid type shape. And I wanted to have that for you today, but I'm just so congested here. But it is a pyramid, and beginning with the most important life need, begin at the very bottom as a foundation. And that would be number one. Then it will escalate. Number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. Well, I want you to know the pyramid, the very first foundational hierarchy of need. You know, hierarchy means in order from least important to most important, or most important to the least important. The very first, most important foundational need for all humans, according to Abraham Maslow, is the physical need. Stay with me now, because you're going to understand where I'm going with all this, because again, this is all about team family for team parenting, and it's all about getting us to have safe interests of school. So as parents who are the leaders of their home, it is our first obligation to identify needs versus wants. So the very first need, according to Abraham Maslow, is a child's physical needs. And you know what physical needs includes? You know, the child's got to have food, air, water. Those are the basic essentials. We all know that. And then and of course, physical needs also go to, clothing, medical needs, everything to supply the existence and the natural health for a child moving forward. Those are your physical needs. But then the second level, we say the second tier of the pyramid, is going to be the child's safety. So if the child's no longer hungry, the child is has medical care, has clothing, has shelter. Now the number two level is going to be the child's safety. We got to be safe. There's nothing more terrible or more painful than anyone having to live in fear, especially a child who is a minor who cannot defend for himself. Well, safety from disaster, safety from abuse, violence, war, crime, anything going to bring them physical harm. As a parent, leaders in our home, it's our responsibility to make certain that our children are safe. Then the third level, well, the thing about it is that what I want to draw your attention to, for many, many years, tradition, this does not represent the opinion of everybody, but a lot of people they felt that those physical, tangible needs that they could see, they valued those as being as important. But when it came to emotional issues, there are some people who, put a little value on that. So the third level of need is the sense to belong. And keep in mind, I am saying need, not wants. Okay? So to belong, a child must have love. And they must have love in return. They want to love and they must feel love in return. They need interpersonal relationships that motivates positive behavior. So love, to belong in the home, in the school, or church organization, even with the social distancing, even within the home. There may be 5 or 6 children within the same home. But each one of those children, it's important that they feel love and they belong. And the fourth level is self-esteem. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. And there's a positive self-esteem. And these are individuals who have a positive image of themselves. They feel good about themselves. I believe I can fly. I believe I can soar. I believe, and they feel they are motivated. And of course, the individuals that they are surrounded around, whether it be family members or mom and dads or teachers, or these are the people who motivates them. And they truly believe they are aggressive. They understand, they believe I can really do it. But for the child who has a poor or negative self-esteem, they think lowly of themselves, or they may find themselves criticizing those individuals who do or exhibit positive behavior. So this is not an option. This is not a want. This is a need. And parents and relatives and friends and older siblings, please know this is for all children. Positive self-esteem is important. Then let's reflect it back again now. Teen family, for teen pregnancy, there's a direct relationship. I want you to know that. There's a direct relationship between the children who feels good about themselves and those who are or seeking for acceptance, seeking inclusion. The fifth category is the level of self-actualization. Self-actualization, let's reflect back to the physical, the first level. And the first level is when all the physical needs are being met. Then you go on to the second level where all the safety needs have been met. Then the third level, the love and the emotions, and the child's feeling good about themselves. They have or develop or onto, they feel love and they love others. They love things around them. They are not abusive. They are not destroying property. They're not stealing and taking others. They feel good about themselves. Then they go on to self-actualization. Self-actualization is when you have accomplished your goal. And not only are your eyes and your expectation no longer on you. You are now focusing on what you can do for others, how you can give back to the community. You're thankful. This is not a time of pride and a time of put down and nose down at everybody else. This is a time where you're thankful and you are using your blessings and your good fortunes to help those around you in your community. Well, how about that? Well, Abraham Maslow established all of those, and the challenge for individuals, parents, adults, youth leaders, is always, especially parents, And in times like we are right now, where employment, economics, all those things, is to be able to determine, to differentiate wants versus needs. Because I can promise you, if all the needs are satisfied, the wants are going to be okay. So we are so thankful for the theories of Abraham Maslow. And I want you to know that after we have examined and understood the hierarchy of need, parents, as parents, let's consider wants and needs for our family. Keeping in mind that the most important level of need begins at the bottom of the pyramid and it moves upward at the least survival need. They're all important, but not essential for life. Let's identify. Stay with me now. Stay with me. I just love my students. And and about this time, if I were in my classroom, I'll probably be stumping the floor about 3 times with my foot, and they go, "Oh, she's about to bring it out. She's about to." Okay, but just stay with me because we're going to take it home now. Let's identify. We still talk about some wants and some needs. Let's identify some upcoming school year challenges and determine in your own mind, as I speak, as we share, whether or not it is a need or is it a want. You may use these topics as a focus of discussion during your family time. For parent and child school opening family discussions. I called it the bottom bucket skills. Yeah, the bottom bucket skills that we're going to implement for back to school 2020-21. Back to school, the bottom bucket survival skills. Well, that's a new term. Well, it's not a new term. It's been around for years, even before children enter school. The little ones, we've always taught children to share. Share. And my kids and my little students, when I taught early childhood and when I owned a preschool kindergarten, they'll be so glad. I shared my blocks. Share's a good word. But today, getting ready for back to school, the opening of school, 2020-21 fall school, let's go back and look at the word sharing from a safety perspective. Okay? Now, I understand my focus is, my training is preschool through high school, but I want you to understand that the information we're going to share right now does include the elementary, sweet babies, but even more so, my high schoolers. Oh my, I call them my almost grown folks. And they swear they grown already. Okay, sharing is our key word here. So, tell me, is it a want or a need? Or you just think with me as we reopen for school. Academics. The technology challenge. Some school district are giving their parents and students an option whether or not they want to continue to to do their studying online, or whether or not they want to be in body classroom. But we're still talking about want versus need now, because you understand the health condition of your child and everything else that's going on in your family. So you will have to make the decision of, a want versus a need. What may be a want to one person may be a need to another, and vice versa. So the technology challenging. What about the emotional trauma? There may be students who have loved ones that they have lost, or loved ones now who are critically ill. Their emotions are just such a uproar right now, and that may affect them comprehending. They may need the individualized care. Parent, you have to decide whatever your actions will be, whether or not you will be acting on a want or a need, and that is in reference to academics. Now, what about sports? Now, we just talked about sports just a little bit, but let's talk about sports as it relates to monitoring health conditions and the duration. So even though it could be a child who, actually was approved by his medical physician or her medical physician as being in good health, with no pre-existing conditions of respiratory issues or heart issues, but right now, as parents, you got to monitor that child. Even though they are older, they may even have a part-time job, but to be conscious of their temperature or their physical movement. You want to have the talk with them. You want to understand what even practice. Yeah, what practice look like. As long as they are performing to their best and there are no complications, no problems, then I'm sure they have your full approval. But monitor them to find out if anything has changed to cause them to be suffering undue medical issues while yet trying to pursue their goal for participation in sports. Okay, now as far as health, we're still talking about wants versus needs now. Wants versus needs. And let me just go back and say this. Asthma and respiratory issues are very critical in the black community. I don't know about the browns, I don't know about the whites, but I know a lot of my black brothers and sisters, they call everything allergies. Everything allergies. Well, that is serious, and you want to make sure that you are monitoring your child's health, because it could be a very critical situation, and you could be thinking that it just may be an allergy to, the time of year or a certain chemical. But health now. The opening of school, mask. The question is, could be, will the student have a mask? Can they afford a mask? Masks are available everywhere. I just want you to know that school supplies just may change this year. I know they may not need all the school supplies they're requested on a sunny day, but I can imagine a lot of health supplies are going to be critical. And at the same time, too, parents, this is not going to be one of those cases where you send all of your supplies to school, because you've got to maintain home safety. Only you can determine your wants and your needs, but it is a table issue for consideration. So if you don't have a mask, you wear a scarf. And some of my little young ladies, they may go, well, but this mask, this mask doesn't match my blouse, or it doesn't go with my outfit. Then parents, you got to come back again with the want versus need. Is this a life-threatening situation, or is it a modeling opportunity? Oh my goodness. And hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer. Remember I was telling you about that magic word, sharing? Well, with the preschoolers, you know, they're so happy to share with their teachers, their parents. Oh, I shared today. Are your hand sanitizers? Some of those critical resources, you know, they may not need to be as shared as much because you may need to reserve them for your own safety, well-being. And parent, please discuss this with your child because in high school and with school, you have a lot of different behaviors out there. Some will wear a mask and some may not, or even some may even, you know, I'm just being honest with you, some may find a bottle of sanitizer and pour it out. It can happen. But if that be the case, you want to have the discussion how to properly handle that in a peaceful way. In a peaceful way. Okay, now social interaction. I told you my high school, oh, well, junior high too nowadays. But the high schoolers, for social interaction, oh my goodness. I can hear them right now. Are you kidding? We've been locked up all summer long. I haven't seen my boo. You know how that goes, right? So maybe you had a bit of social distancing at your home, and maybe you had some discretionary visitors, but my goodness, they've been locked up all this time. They have not seen that. But what do you think is going to happen? Well, it doesn't have to happen, but by you having the conversation, it's going to shed more light because they're not thinking as an adult right now. You want to and not just their boo, but just other social friends at school. You know, the girl, the guy friend, you know, my guy, my dude, my homie, you know, stuff like that, you know. They're just gonna be glad to see each other. Oh my goodness. And not just them, but the teachers. My favorite teachers and teachers see the favorite student. Everybody just want to hug on each other because I love you and I miss you. I haven't seen you since way back in the day. My goodness. Hugs, 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 and kissing, kissing, kissing. Plus, I said the plus now. Plus, you know what I mean? Emphasize to your young adult how their actions, my friend, will affect their entire household. Entire household. This is not the time, and this is not one of the times, as in the past, where, you know, boy meet girls, kiss, 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 or whatever, you know, happens. You know, hey, this is the Ever Better Talk Show. We get real. We are professional, but we're real. We're realistic, but we're real. And the thing about it is that, like back in the day, well, not just back in the day, you know, even now, just a few, within the same semester school, you know, students have had some slack social interaction. That's a nice way of saying it. But for the most part, you know, they go home and that's it. Maybe strep throat, sore throat, dry throat. But now it's much more than that, my friend. It's serious business. What they contract can affect family members, the entire household. Jobs are scarce right now and very unpredictable. I know they will not intentionally do anything to prevent the continued ability of parents to go to work, or the little brothers and little sisters for them to become infected, or anyone else who's close to them. Let them understand, help them understand the importance of them having discretionary contact. Help them to use their words to verbalize how they feel toward each other. And it's no easy for me as an adult. I see friends and family members in the grocery stores, or if I go to Walmart, oh my goodness, I know I have to, how you doing? Hug the air, the shoulder and stuff like that. You take the time, parents. And this is not just a one-time thing. You're going to have to do this every day because you got to help them be strong. Because this is an emotional issue. This is not a behavior as to whether or not you refuse to comply or not comply. These are true emotions that we are addressing. And they need to understand and have the conversations with each other to understand that we're sharing feelings, we're still sharing our words, but we've just got to be safe. Can you do that, parents? Well, another thing, parents, concerning that word sharing, our guys love to look good too. But our girls know they love to look good. Grooming is addictive. It's addictive. They can't be sharing lipstick. It was not safe to share lipstick, lip gloss, and lotions and all that before COVID. But now it's dangerous. The lips you paint can cost you your life. Not to think about the lips that you kiss can cost you your life. Whereas you may not be directly affected, but you may pass the virus on to someone else. I can see right now that if parents took the time to have the round table discussion with your child or on the sofa, that so much communication would develop from this. And it's going to help them just by being able to ease their emotion or to share their emotions, to give them a different perspective in how to react. They really need you at this point. Never before or will they be able to just, leave the house and go to school and come back and do your homework. They're dealing with much more now. Because the life you saved could be your entire household. Not just the physical life, but the economic life of your entire household. We don't want to be sharing any lipstick. Even if they share books, paper and pencil. I'm not sure if you see all this stuff on my desk here. You got the hand washing, you got the wipes, you got all this stuff here. But not just passing books as we normally do is safe. Bring all this back to their remembrance because they're not going to be thinking about that. I've seen sometimes we're writing and students are writing and or I don't have one right here, but you know how when you're writing, you take the pencil and hold it in your mouth. Oh, that could be the worst thing that can happen. They're telling us to not touch our face. Nothing goes to our face that would help deter the virus. But remind them, our wonderful, goal, career-oriented young men, young ladies, let's help them be strong. Let's help them be strong. Remember the teen family, and I asked the question a few weeks ago, what is the best practice for teaching teens how to be parents? And the overwhelming answer was by example, by example, by example. They understand things are different and things are quite tough right now. But how they see you respond, oh, I gotta say hallelujah. How they see you respond, the patience you take with them, the accountability you hold them to for the protection of your family, you are sharing priceless, priceless values and goals with them for your dedication for parenting. Well, food. No, wait, one more thing. This is not the time for a fight. Even a good wrestling. Even a tic-tac. Yeah, this happened in high school. They can't do it, y'all. They can't do it. They get too close. Corona better took over. Corona would have taken over, and my goodness, neither partner would have won. If Corona leaves those two and follow them into their household. We can't fight. Corona is worse than a gun. We can't fight. This is a good time to be cool and social distancing. And along with that, we don't want to use words that's going to provoke anyone. We want to use kind words and reinforcing words. Well, I've seen times, they love to eat. Not supposed to be eating in class. Somebody got a bag of chips and some Cheetos, and somebody's going to pass the bag around and they go, well, I'm not going to put my hand, I'm just going to shake a few out. Well, keep in mind the proximity of the bag and the airborne infection. It could still happen. I've seen times when students, or sometimes they want to drink. They're not supposed to be drinking. We know that. But they may have either during school, after school, they may have a bottle of juice or water, whatever the case may be. And another person go, give me some. And they have the bottle, they hold it up. I said, don't you know that's not sanitary? Oh, but I'm not going to let my mouth touch the bottle. So they hold it up. They hold it up and let it fall in their mouth. But hey, airborne illnesses. Airborne. That means this virus can be contracted without any physical touching of the cap of the bottle. Parents, they need you, we need you, teachers need you, we all need each other right now. It is possible. Versus your want versus need in your family situation, it is possible to re-enter school. But there is going to require some intentional diligence of parents working and talking with their student. Not just working and talking, but also monitoring health care in the morning. Oh, I just got to say hallelujah. Parents must have an in-house thermometer. Whether or not you're using the digital one, if you have a digital one, and certainly you don't want to use the old-fashioned mouth insert. If you use a digital one, you need to make sure that you wear a mask and that each individual understands how to correctly read the thermometer. But the best practice would be one of those electronic thermometers, the kind I guess they use in school and all the other business ventures where you just sight it over the forehead and you get a reading. But it is going to be your responsibility as parents, to not wait till your child go to school so the school can calculate or scan them for their temperature. It is a parent responsibility to do that or to make sure it's done first thing in the morning when they get up before they leave the house. Because guess what? If you don't, they're going to be calling you. School's going to be calling you. They've got to. You think in terms, I got to go to work. It could be a small child. And if it's a small child, make the decision right then if an older sibling or whoever it is that needs to stay home with the child. It's COVID-19 time. COVID-19 season. So whatever or modifications you have to make for the safety of your family and the safety of the children at schools, I feel certain that the school administration is going to be more willing to work with you in case that child have to be absent. Because if you send that child to school, first of all, he is going to affect, well, I'm not sure, I think the bus drivers just may have a scanner too. But you know how it goes, you know, sometimes some may have it, some may not, you know. But regardless, who does and who does not, if the child is found with a temperature or that is not satisfactory before entering the school wall, you're going to have to come pick that child up. Now that brings on the next suggestion. Who have you identified as being your co-parent assistant? Your co-parent assistant. By that I mean that if you should get a call to have to go down to the school to pick your child up, who do you already have in mind with names and numbers who that person will be, and somebody who's dependable? This is a proactive determination, a proactive responsibility that parents can be looking ahead to make sure you have things in place should these emergency arise. And all indications, they're going to rise. Well, that almost concludes our needs and wants charts, all the things that we've just shared to determine if it's a want or it's a need. The last thing, sharing clothes. Again, our girls love to look good. Not just girls at school, girls in the family, wherever the case may be, because you know, these clothes, they will hold. They are able to hold the coronavirus for a certain amount of hours. So you know, depending on the season of the year, you know, it could be just wash and wear or sunny day wear. It could be a time where, you know, there have been some congestion, you know, some sneezing, some coughing, the smaller kids, the older kids, and everything that I'm saying right here, or the responsibility also overlaps into child care, or parents. Oh my goodness. Oh, I understand. I operated a professional preschool and kindergarten for 14 years. And my challenge was always taking care of my babies. Parents do not assume that anyone is doing what they said they were going to do or were supposed to be doing. The responsibility is that you are accountable for the safety, health, and life of your child and your family. I can hear the Lord saying right now, I can hear him. Not talking like I'm talking, you're just in my spirit, you know. I can hear him saying to families, even though you have no challenge, but if you have the faith in me to make those tough decisions, I will make your family and your household stronger than ever. For when this has passed, because you would have learned, hear me very clearly, because you would have learned how to stick together and to help each other get through. I believe that. I do. If you have faith in me to make the tough decisions, I will make your family, your household, stronger than ever. For in this, you will learn to stick together and to help each other. Ah! I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. Well, I strongly urge you to continue reading and meditating on Proverbs chapter 1 and 2 as you seek the Lord for wisdom. Okay? You know, that was my original, I won't say a homework assignment. I would say that's my original recommendation from last week. Yes. And you see all the sanitary supplies I have on my desk here. You know, I have this Clorox from those Walmart or Kroger's. This is the Dollar General. Dollar Tree. $1. Doesn't make any difference. All these commercials. And then again now, I feel pretty sure when school opening, you all gonna have all these long supply lists from your child's teacher. But you got to make sure you have some stuff at home. Okay? And when everything else fails, this is my favorite. I use this now. Now this bottle here too. These two are my favorite. Get you one of these $1 bottles of bleach. Diluted with water in your container. And you can be wiping down in your home for many days. Many days. All those touchable items. And while we're talking about touchable, you may have one of those refrigerators that have the automatically ice dispenser where it falls. That's great. But if you don't, you may have one of those refrigerators where you empty the tray in the container that holds ice. You want to take care of that. Either put a container down in there, a little cup to dip it up, because once those hands go in there, oh, visitors and guests and even in family, the sneezing, and oh, handle your business. Okay? Wipe down, put a little cup in there that's going to help. Wipe the handle, the doorknobs, wipe everything down. But this right here, I carry this with me even today. I do. Because all this little Lysol, these commercial sprays, I'm old-fashioned. Give me some bleach. It's going to always be with you. Well, and of course, alcohol too, alcohol. But I'll get me a little bleach solution. I'll put it in a little towel and put it in a Ziploc bag. So if you ever run out, you always have, your child can have this at home, at school. And of course now, we don't want to do that sharing word again now. They're not to share these. This is for their own safety and their family perseverance. Okay? Well, the wheels on the bus go up and down, up and down, up and down. The wheels on the bus goes up and down, all through the town.